All right. Welcome back, Scales Crew, to another edition of You Know What It Is, the Review It Alls. The show where we pick a person, place, and a product. We give our review so you guys, the watchers, the viewers, can go out and experience those things for yourself. Today, I have a special guest with me, Dr. Sarah Aref. She is the head dentist here at Firefly Children's Dentistry here in Perrysburg, Ohio. We're going to sit down and talk to her today about why she started her practice, why she went into pediatric dentistry, and we want to talk a little bit about her being a minority business woman in America these days and how good it feels to be that. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome my guest, Dr. Sarah Aref. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. It was great. It was such an honor to be here. So I want to just jump right into it because I know you have a very busy schedule. So just let the viewers know a little bit about you, like, where you're from originally and
Sure.
how you got started into pediatric dentistry.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Aref. I went to dental school in Michigan. I grew up, actually, the majority of my life in Michigan. I did spend some time in Canada, and then I actually lived in Saudi Arabia for a couple of years, but the majority of my life I've spent in Michigan. I did my undergrad there, I did dental school, and then I moved on. So as a pediatric dentist, you do a specialty, so I moved on to Case Western in Cleveland, Ohio, and I did my specialty there. Worked there for a few years, worked in Milwaukee, worked in different places in Ohio and Michigan, and then finally settled down in Perrysburg and opened up my own practice.
Oh, nice. And it's a very nice practice too, being here in the office. So thank you for allowing us to come to the office.
Absolutely.
So speaking of being in pediatric dentistry, what got you started in doing pediatrics specifically?
Okay, so specifically peds. I went to dental school. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew for certain at the time that I didn't want to be a general dentist because I know myself and I know that I'm better when I focus on something specifically than to focus on a wide range of things, which a lot of general dentists do. So I knew going into dental school that I wanted to specialize. I just didn't know what the specialty would be. And as I was doing my rotations in my third year, I just found myself I was a happier person being around kids and doing my pediatric rotations. So that is what kind of put the light bulb in my head or lit up a light bulb in my head that I wanted to specialize in pediatrics, and then things kind of took off from there. But really just my rotations in dental school is where it all started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And being that you are a pediatric dentist and that you are happier around children, like what is it that you feel makes you stand out from other pediatric dentists in the area?
I honestly, to be honest, like I get that question a lot from parents, and I think all the pediatric dentists, everybody has their special way with kids. So I don't really think it's like something that might be special that makes me stand out, but every child will get along with someone just a little bit better. So maybe your child would get along with a different pediatric dentist better than they would get along with me. But I feel like pediatric dentists in general, what makes them stand out is that they have the extra training in pediatrics. They know how to deal with kids. They're a little bit, I would say for the most part, a little bit more patient with kids. And then we have different treatment modalities under our belt too. So if a child is, for example, just not able to undergo treatment in the office, where we have the ability to take them under general anesthesia or do some sort of sedation. So we are able to offer your child more options than if you were to just go to, for example, a general dentist. So it's like going to a pediatrician versus going to a family doctor. So, yeah.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the major difference between general dentistry and pediatric dentistry. You know what I mean? But, I'm just being silly. And I also wanted to say, go blue, go green, go white. Because I used to be, I'm a former Michigander myself. Yeah. Not originally, but I lived there for 8 years, so Michigan's in my blood. Don't y'all forget that. Now, I know that you state that all pediatric dentists have a niche when it comes to children.
Absolutely, yeah.
I read the reviews that you have. You have a lot of 5-star reviews. The overall average of your reviews is 4.9, right at 5. So that says a lot about your practice and how you stand out above a lot of others. And because I did a little research before I came and interviewed you, and I was like, wow. So it was like everything that I was reading I was taken aback, like, wow, she's really catering to pediatric dentistry, and people are really, really receptive to it. Like, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good, honestly. There is no better feeling, honestly, than having a kid come in who is very, very nervous, or unfortunately has had a traumatic dental experience, or has heard things or seen things, and having them come in and leaving with a smile on their face. I think that is what keeps me going. Pediatric dentistry, it can be tough, and it can be, it's a lot of work, but that is honestly, at the end of the day, like, knowing I made those differences in that child's life is a big deal. And knowing that child will look forward to going to their dental office or dental visit, even as they transition from a pediatric practice to a general practice, is what makes me stay in this field. I treat, honestly, every child that comes in like they're my own kid. And I do what I think I would do for my child. So I try to be very honest in my work. I try to be very patient with the kids, because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what experiences they've had, or what they've seen, or what they've heard that have put them in, for example, that mindset where they're terrified of coming to the dentist. So I try and be as patient as possible, and kind of try my very best to put myself in their shoes.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. So parents, the parents of mine that are in the area that are listening and watching and viewing this, come on out here.
Come check us out.
Come on, check her out, for real. Like, you heard what she said. Like, and we know how children are terrified of the dentist. Like, terrified. Like, I think I was when I was maybe like 5 or 6 years old, and I went to the dentist. I think it was my second treatment, because the first time I was a kid, and it was like, oh. But I was an older kid, and dentist wasn't too nice, and but I've been here, just so I can go ahead and say this to you guys. I've been here and observed the work that she does. She's great with children. She's great with kids. So
thank you.
If you're watching and you have little ones, whether it's your kids, your grandkids, nieces, nephews, dog, cat, well, no, we don't do dogs and cats, but whatever the case may be, whomever it is, give us a call, and it'll be in the description box down below, so you can go and check out the website. You'll be able to call if you want to make an appointment. And again, pediatric, meaning children. Adults do not call to make an appointment. I know she's very nice and is like, oh, a vibe, but this is for kids only. Kids only. But no, before I get out of here, I do want to, I kind of want to ask this question. Right now, we have a lot of women that are doing a lot of things, and they're doing very prominent things. And then we have an uprising of minority women that are doing a lot of things, a lot of great things. So, like, with you being a woman that's a pediatric dentist and a minority, like, what kind of sense of emotion does that give you to know that you're a very successful pediatric dentist, and you're also a minority female? And we all know from just with history that women weren't always thought to be in those positions, and you're proving that theory to be wrong. So tell me, how does that feel?
Okay, well, let me start. My mom is, I grew up, my mom is also very driven woman. She is in the medical field, and she has always taught us, and I think a lot of this comes from my mom. Like, she was working while we were kids, and she was still able to be a mother to us, and she taught me that to get through this world, you can't depend on anybody, right?
That's right. Right.
And so education was so important to her, and she, even when I would be giving up, she would be pushing me right through.
That's right.
So a lot of that comes or stems from my mom, but a part of it too is society. I'm very thankful that we're at where we are right now. I'm not gonna lie, I put my scarf on in the last year of high school, and it was quite the transition. And I was always afraid. I was always scared that, you know, people would judge me a certain way, or they would look at me a certain way, or assume something about me without even talking to me.
Right.
And I feel like that still goes on. It's still something in the back of my mind today. You know, whenever I interact with someone, like, are they going to, are they going to see me for who I am, or are they going to see me for this piece of cloth on my head?
Yeah, kind of shy away.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
And I get where you're saying that, you know, the drive from society that has changed and allowed women to do more is great. But I also see how society actually can cause that same domino effect of looking down too.
And I will say, you know, since I've opened my practice, I've never had any issues.
Never once.
Never, not once.
Not one time.
So I am very grateful to my community, to the people around me, to the diversity that's in the city, and to people being just understanding that there are people out there who might have different opinions, different views, but that's all okay. Right? Like, everybody is entitled. Yeah. And
that's what makes the world the world.
That's,
you know?
what makes everybody who they are.
Yeah.
But I am definitely, I feel very grateful. I feel grateful to be in this position, and I'm grateful that I've had that family support and the community support as well.
Awesome. Now y'all see how very modest she is. She's very modest, and I greatly appreciate that in her, but I'm just gonna say it here first. She's the bomb. So just like I said, I'm not gonna keep telling you. Bring your kiddos. Bring them. And experience it for yourself. And I'm not saying this just to be saying this because we're doing an interview. I'm saying this because I've actually seen it in action. I've seen her in action time and again, so I know this will be a great experience for your child. So don't hesitate, bring them on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Exactly. But Doc, I wanted to thank you so much for allowing me to come in and do this interview. Thank you for allowing the show to come in and just say, hey, you know, can we talk about who you are? You're a great person. I feel like you have a great business here. So I'm like, hey, gotta get her on.
You're welcome anytime.
So thank you so much. I appreciate that. So listen, Scales crew, everyone watching, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Review It Alls. Make sure you check the description box down below for all of the links for Firefly Children's Dentistry and Dr. Sarah Aref. And we will see you all in the next episode. Until then, stay peaceful, stay loving, keep the scales balanced. And we're out of here. See you.